What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Vet Green. Listen, I've been thinking about this because, again, like I am going through such a transition in my life, and so many tests have been presented to me. Some I failed, some I've passed. I'm happy about, so I'm giving myself definitely a pat on the back. But one of the things that I realized about myself is that depending on the test, vet, listen, you were talking about what you would do. You were talking about the things that you had in your backpack. But when that hard test, when that challenge really came and presented itself, how did you react? How did you handle that challenge that you said? Because remember, y'all, I am so huge into self-development, and I felt like I had all the tools to handle any challenge that came my way. Any challenge. I was like, yeah, I'll just pull out XYZ tool, and I'll just go into my bag and pull out this C tool. This is what I thought. Until certain challenges presented themselves, and I was like, wait a minute. Hold on. Like, this was a challenge I wasn't ready for. I wasn't ready for this challenge. I wasn't quite prepared for this challenge. So what did I do? I stood still for a moment, y'all. I stood still for a moment. Hence, the reset that I had to do on July 1st. If you've been rocking with me for a while, you know that I was like, wait a minute, I had to press the reset button July 1st because I was not handling the challenges as they presented themselves. Them storms that were coming in my life, y'all, I was getting hit and I didn't know how to take it. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know that I could take cover. What I did was I stood still for a moment. I paused. And when I paused, I forgot to hit play again. Okay? I forgot to go back to the VCR. I know some of y'all may not know what a VCR is, but it's what we used to use to watch movies. I forgot to go back and hit that play button. So I was stuck on pause for a while because I did not know how to handle certain challenges as they presented themselves. There's certain areas in our lives, y'all, that need to be developed, and it's a continuous development. It's a continuous process. And I thought that I knew what I knew because I had some tools. And a lot of those tools helped me in other areas in my life. So I was like, okay, this tool is going to help me in this area of my life. No, honey, no, it did not work like that. It did not work like that. And I had to have a come to Jesus moment with myself and say, you know what? You need a little bit more help in this area because you really are struggling, young lady. Like, you are really struggling. Sometimes we don't know that it is okay to say, you know what, I don't got this. It is okay to put your hand up and say, you know what, I need some help. It is okay to raise both your hands and say, I am drowning here and I don't know what to do. Like, it's either sink or swim, and doggone it, I am sinking. I'm about to hit the bottom of this thing. I am about to be at my rock bottom. What do I do? How can I lift myself back up in this storm? What do I need to do to make sure that I persevere and I pass this test? Because I keep having to take it. I keep having to go through the same thing over and over again. And I keep doing the same thing. So why is this not working? I keep doing the same thing. So why is this not working? You keep doing the same thing. That's exactly why it's not working. You are paused and forgot to hit play because you have some additional work, inner work, that you need to be doing on yourself. Because this thing called life, this thing called growth, this mindset that has to change is a continuous process, and there's layers. You see these layers on my forehead right now? You see these lines on my forehead? That is, if you think about the layers that need to be developed, that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. There's so many pieces of you. And there's certain pieces, everybody. I have to wipe my face because y'all know the hot flashes be real. There's so many pieces that is comprised of you And all of those pieces, everybody, we have to develop. Even those pieces that we thought were resolved, even those pieces that we thought we already got over that hump, even those pieces that it hurts us to look at. It makes us cry. It makes us cringe. It doesn't feel good inside. Those pieces, yes, hunty, even those pieces, even with tears in your eyes, baby, you got to develop it. You got to be in control of that. You have to know who you are showing up as in this thing called life. And if you have not developed certain areas in your life, it is going to play out in your life. And it's going to come to you as chaos. It is going to come to you in heartbreak. It is going to be presented to you as a beautiful present, all wrapped up in the best wrapping paper that you can find. But inside that box, once you open it, it is like Pandora's box. That's how it's going to be presented to you. And if you don't know how to handle those areas, if you don't know how to maneuver through those areas in your life, you're going to have some issues. I was having some issues, y'all. Like I knew what I knew, but I didn't know what I didn't know. If that makes any sense. I knew that I was strong in some areas, and I thought I was strong in a lot of different areas. But when I realized that, girl, you are really sinking right here. Your feet are about to hit rock bottom. You are repeating the same cycle that you thought you were rid of. You are repeating the same cycle, honey child. Like them abandonment issues that you got, baby. They continue to show up. Because although you are good in this area, you still got to figure out that thing, right? Yep, you got to still figure out that thing that keep bringing you back to that same situation. You got to figure out why you keep going back to that same situation. You got to figure it out. You got to figure it out. What you don't expose is going to be a problem. The things that you don't heal from is going to steal your joy. It's going to steal your joy. You're going to have more bad days than good days because you are unwilling to, because that's what it is. Y'all, if we're being honest with ourselves, we be unwilling to deal with it. We are unwilling to unlock that thing because it's going to make us cry. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't make our heart beat with joy. The tears that's streaming down our face, a lot of times it's not from joy when you are dealing with yourself. Because we want to be perfect. We want to have it all together, right? We got all the answers. We know how to, we've been lifing for a long time. I got this. I got this. No, you don't. No, you don't. Because if you did, you wouldn't be high right now. Because if you did, you wouldn't be crying in the middle of the night. If you did, you would be able to go to sleep at night. You ain't got this, honey child. Sugar plum. Hunty. Stop lying to yourself. Stop lying to yourself. The best thing, my advice, the best thing that you can do for you is to realize what is making you struggle. I was having a conversation the other night, and we were talking about racing thoughts, and that is something that I have been dealing with for a very long time, those racing thoughts. And what I like to do, what helps me, is to walk it back. Like, walk it back to that original thought that made you have the other million thoughts, right? Because with those racing thoughts, it'll start with this thought, and then before you know it, it's like, woo, woo, woo. The thoughts keep coming, and before you know it, you're going down a rabbit hole. It's like Alice in Wonderland, and you can't stop because now the thoughts won't stop. And they aren't good thoughts, y'all. They're negative thoughts. Those thoughts that tell you you ain't it. Those thoughts that tell you you will never amount to anything. Those thoughts that tell you you are still trapped in that situation and you can't get out of it. Yep, those thoughts. You trapped there. You're sinking. You have reached your rock bottom and you are trying to figure out how can I get some relief, Lord? Like, what do I need to do to get myself out of this mess? What do I need to do to get myself out of this hole that I dug? Right? That I dug. What do I need to do? Whew. First, take a step back. Take a step back. It is Where You At Wednesdays. Take a step back. Check in with yourself. Where are you? When you woke up this morning, when you opened your eyes this morning, what thoughts were you thinking? What did you tell yourself this morning? What did you tell yourself about you this morning? What are you carrying with you that somebody told you 20 years ago and you are still reliving what they told you because you have told yourself that it's true? What did you encounter on Monday and here it is Wednesday and you are still like going over and over with it in your head? What is it that you are dealing with or that you are refusing to acknowledge? What does that look like? What is it that you are suppressing right now? What is it that you are unwilling to talk about? What is it that you are unwilling to heal from? These are all really, really great questions that a lot of times we don't even check in with ourselves or even know that there is a thing called checking in with you. I like to keep it real, everybody, because I realize that I have been purposely purposed, and it's through my transparency that people relate to what it is that I have to say. It's through my transparency that people can see themselves in me, because I refuse, y'all. It's too much work to pretend not to be that. It's way too much work to try and be somebody else for me. I don't know. It didn't feel good for me to try and be somebody else. So I like to be very, very transparent. And through that transparency, I like to teach the things that have worked for me and talk about the things that have not. And something that did not work for me is not acknowledging that I was struggling. Is to acknowledge that, girl, like those tools that you had in your backpack, you didn't get them all. You left some stuff back there. Remember you when you were hopping across the board and you seen all them, it was 20 stars and you grabbed 15 of them thinking that them 15 was going to get you through. But in all actuality, you needed all 20 of them, hunty. So you got to go back and hit that reset button and go back and get them other 5 stars. Because those other 5 stars are going to help you reach your next best level. But you have to go back and learn what you did wrong. You have to go back and learn what it is that you are suffering from. You have to go back and acknowledge the things that tried to break you. Because although they tried to break you, hunty, you are still here. Okay? You are still living and breathing. You still have a heartbeat. You still have breath in your body. So it did not break you. It was graceful, hunty. I talked about it. Go back. Look at Think and Grow with Yvette Green. I talked about that being gracefully broken. That graceful breaking means that you can still put yourself back together. No matter what it looks like. I don't care what it looks like. You can be broke right now. You don't got no food in your refrigerator. You don't have a pot to piss in and a window to throw it out of. I don't care what it looks like. You can fix that. But it has to start with you. It is a must. It's a must that it starts with you. First thing you have to do is acknowledge that, look at her. She has to come in. The first thing that you have to do is acknowledge that you need help. Acknowledge that you need help. Acknowledge that you don't have all the answers. Acknowledge that you don't have it all together. Acknowledge that, I am struggling in certain areas in my life, and be okay with that. Y'all, it is too much to try and be perfect. It is too much to try and act like you have it all together, because you know you don't. What happens when that door closes and you go in that house and you sitting there in your own thoughts, and now you want to turn on the TV because you don't want to face those things? What happens? What are you doing in those moments that you don't want to face your own it? I realized last night that I do the mirror work quite frequently, almost every day, because I am one who went days, possibly weeks, without looking at myself in the mirror. I couldn't look at myself because I didn't like what she looked like. I didn't like what she represented. I did not love who she had become, because I had laid down, y'all. I didn't just pause like I did this time. I laid down. I laid down for 7 years. I laid down for 7 years, y'all. I did. I took all of them punches laying down. I did not stand up. I did not stand up. I'm not even going to lie to you. I let all types of forces come into my life, and I was accepting of it. I had accepted that that was what my life was supposed to look like. That heartbreak, that demeaning myself. I had accepted that that was what my life was going to look like for the rest of my life, until I had a conversation with someone. And this person told me that it talks about in the Bible of having 70 years on this earth. And at that time, I was probably in my early 40s. And I thought to myself, wait a minute, like, I still could have a lot more years of living like this. Like, wait a minute, I don't like how this look. I don't like how this feel. Like, I don't want to live like this until I'm 70. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Like, for real, for real? Yeah. Yeah, there's a reference about 70 years in the Bible. I don't know, y'all. Think about how old you are right now. And think about the things that you have not been able to accomplish due to you. Not due to somebody else. I know that person did that to you. I know that mess hurt. I know somebody did the most atrocious things to you. I know some of us have had the hardest lives. I get it. I get it. Listen, this is I'm talking to you from Booby from the projects, okay? This is LaQuisha talking to you right now. I get it. I get it. But let Vet come back. Let Vet push some knowledge into you right now. Take accountability for your life. Take your power back today. Today, y'all. Stop wasting time. The things that happened to you, I am so sorry that you had to experience that wholeheartedly. I am so sorry. But if you change the narrative of that thing that you have gone through, or you may be dealing with right now, if you change the narrative of the situation, and yes, it's going to be hard because it hurts. You know, it is valid, those feelings that you are feeling right now. It is valid that you cried. It is valid that you acknowledge that your heart hurt. It is very, very valid what you have gone through. Absolutely. But you take your power back, Hunty, when you no longer let them have that power over you, when you no longer let them be the puppeteer in your life, them holding the strings, being that they did something to you, so they're holding the strings on how you move today, how you maneuver through your life. They're holding the strings based on what they did to you. What I like to do now in my life, and being this person that I am right now, is say, I'll let God handle that. One of my favorite songs is by Yolanda Adams, "The Battle Is Not Yours, It's the Lord's." Man, listen to that song today and let it sink deep down in yourselves and let God handle that. Let go and let God. Let go and let God. Instead of worrying about what they did to you, instead of trying to make them feel bad about what they did to you, take your power back today and do something for you. Begin the healing process. Check in with yourself and acknowledge the areas where you are struggling. It is okay to not be okay, y'all. It is okay to not have all the answers. It is okay to be like, you know what, I am drowning. It's okay. The first step is acknowledging. And a part of acknowledging is taking accountability for your life. You are still breathing. You are still here. What you make with your life up to now, what you make of your life Going forward is entirely up to you. Don't think you can't do it. God said, yes, hunty, you are breathing, okay? You are a living person right now. But are you living? It's a lot of us that living dead. I'm just saying. What you want your life to look like 7 days from now? What you want your life to look like 30 days from now? Heck, in 2 weeks. It's about to be September. What have you done with your life lately? I'm just saying, y'all, I love you. I love you, long life, and I am here to step on our toes. You hear what I say? Our toes. Because I am not, I am far from perfect. Okay? Like I always say, the preacher is preaching to themselves. Trust and believe. That message that they are trying to give to you, they are trying to also give to themselves. The speaker is speaking to themselves. What have you done with your life lately? I love you, long life. You make sure you have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful wherever you are, on purpose. On purpose. Thank you for watching. Don't forget, subscribe now. And hey, leave me a message. I want to know if this resonated with you. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day on purpose.